Good afternoon and welcome to yet another TUG Connects 365 webinar today. I'm Gloria Nelson, your host with TUG, and as you settle in and get ready for the start of today's webinar, let me give a brief introduction for TUG, the usergroup.org, for both our current members and those of you who represent organizations that have not yet joined our online community of Infor distribution software users. We've all heard that phrase that knowledge is power, and I can say with confidence that after today's presentation, you'll be waking up with a little more of both. TUG webinars, online forums, and member events facilitate the timely exchange of ideas and information to help you work smarter and with more confidence. And that's a powerful combination. If you're currently a member, it pays to get even more involved. And if not, please visit our website to discover why 2,300 heads are better than one to help you be the best at what you do. I'd like to just, before we get started here this afternoon, let you know that we have received permissions for you to go ahead and take screenshots with the intellectual property, as well as copy and paste and keep for a future resource any chat that you might feel is beneficial to your job performance. So without any further ado, it is our pleasure to welcome back Jeff Sawyer, Acumen COO, and he'll be presenting their Acumen Data Warehouse for CloudSuite Distribution solution. Jeff, I'm turning things over to you, and we'll let you know just as soon as I have your screen in my sightline.
Thank you, Gloria.
And you are in focus.
Perfect. Thank you, Gloria. And, we're here to talk about a product that Acumen Group has created called a data warehouse solution, which is a data warehouse for your CloudSuite distribution tenant. So first, let me introduce Acumen Group and who we are. So we've been a gold channel partner since 1999 with Infor, but we've been working in the distribution industry since 1985. We're also an alliance services partner with Infor, and many of our staff serve on different committees within Infor, particularly the Global Advisory Council, the North America Advisory Council, and the Product Development Committee. Now let's talk about our data warehouse solution. But first, we need to talk about a need. So we had two customers that called us, fairly large customers, one an industrial distributor who had a business requirement that they needed to have true ODBC access to their data that was housed within the CloudSuite distribution product. The primary driving force for this was they needed to maintain a legacy integration with their existing manufacturing solution. So we developed this for them. It's an integrated and maintained with ease, meaning that we handle all the items for maintenance that you need for this data warehouse. We also enable ad hoc reporting using Hyperion or Power BI. So this company was also able to take some of their legacy Hyperion reports that they had and move them right over to use directly with their CSD data. We also had an irrigation distributor who had some business requirements. They needed to easily migrate from an on-premise SX.e installation to CSD. And also they wanted to maintain a large volume of their existing Hyperion reports. So we worked with them to integrate with them the data warehouse that we have, which gives them that true ODBC access to their data, and also allowed them to migrate those existing reports over from Hyperion with very little changes to those reports. So let's talk a little bit. Oh, well, first, Gloria, let's pull up that poll to see what kind of solutions that you guys are using.
Jeff, I would love to do that for you, but when I flip this back to Gary as host, I lost that tool. So Gary Brown, if you have that, your ears on, if you can either make me co-host so that tool reappears, or go ahead and launch that poll for Jeff, we'd be very grateful.
Perfect.
Hold on, Gloria, I'll make you co-host.
Thank you.
You're good to go.
Thank you very kindly. You know, one of the things that I just want to say is that we're always learning new things. So I'm going to go ahead and let you roll with this now, Jeff. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. So the poll is, what solutions are you currently using to extract data from SX.e or CSD? The first option is direct ODBC reporting. That's with Hyperion, Crystal Reports, Power BI, or something else. The Compass JDBC driver against the Infor data lake. Or are you using SX.e and CSD standard reports? Those are those text reports that come out of the application. Are you using Ion BODs or the APIs to pull data out into another solution? Are you using Infor Burst, or maybe another solution, or nothing right now? Now, if you pick other, if you could please update the chat and let us know what you are using. And then Gloria, let me know when we have some numbers coming in. Perfect. So the results are 42% of you guys are using direct ODBC reporting. 5% are using the Compass Data Lake driver. 21% are using the standard reports, which I would expect. None of you are using those BODs or APIs. 21% using Burst, 5% other, and none. Gloria, did anyone mention what that other is?
Yes, they did. Scott shared that he's using SSIS. Anyone else want to plug
SSIS.
anything in? Just go ahead and you can plug
Perfect.
it directly into your chat window, and we'll continue to monitor.
And I'm assuming that SSIS is with on-premise SX.e rather than CSD. So I think for many of you guys, this is going to be a solution that you might be able to use going forward. So let's talk a little bit about it. So first off, it's here to meet all your needs. So meaning that we have near real-time reporting. We're using the Ion infrastructure to bring the data over from CSD into our data warehouse. So within seconds, you're going to get an updated ODBC version of that data. Like I said, we use native ODBC, not JDBC, so you don't have any translators in the middle, and you don't have to, you have a large selection of tools that you can use. We can add cubing if you need to the data warehouse, because we are technically a single tenant solution, whereas that database is for you and you can access it. So we can go in, and if you need to, we can add up some cubing if you need to. We also do data validation and self-healing schema, which this is important because many times, with a data warehouse, people come in the morning and you get a call, you're the IT guy, and you get a call from your sales rep that says, hey, the data that you're presenting me is not right. Well, what we're trying to do is to get you guys the information earlier on that says something is wrong with the data warehouse, and it's not in line with the data that's in the transactional database. So we can provide those alerts and notifications to you, and also jump in because this is a SaaS product, and we can try to repair that before you start your business day. Now, what's also important with that self-healing schema is that as the CSD database changes from month to month with the monthly releases, we can self-heal the schema that's in the data warehouse. So you won't see any downtime for us to apply new schemas or anything like that to the database. You also get access to those historical reports that are stored in the data lake, and we keep a sync between the two. So we keep that variation ID so that you know that you have the up-to-date version of that data within the data warehouse that you're accessing. So let me go through a little bit of the logistics and how this thing works. So over here on the left, you have your CloudSuite Distribution system, and we've connected with Ion to our system where we capture the data being sent over whenever it changes from CSD. We translate it, we apply that schema update, we cleanse it. We also do things like explode out arrays. So for example, the add-on array or the address 1 and 2 array, we can explode that out into multiple fields rather than having you to decompose them from that data within your reporting tool. We then put this data within a PostgreSQL database that's hosted on AWS. This is for scalability and reliability. It's also hosted in the same data warehouse or the same data location as CSD is. So that increases the speed and availability of the system. And then on a nightly basis, we validate and provide alerting to you as the end user if the data might be out of sync. Now, because we're using this PostgreSQL database, this gives you that native ODBC access. You can also access it with a standard Postgres driver if you wanted to, but you can connect directly with Excel. You can connect with Power BI, Hyperion, or anything else that needs ODBC access. And it's as simple as setting up an ODBC driver in your system. We provide you all of these configuration settings. You set it up on your PC or your server, And now you have a DSN that's available for you to use over in Excel. Now I have a couple more screenshots in this presentation, but I'm going to go into a live demo. The screenshots will be provided, so in case you want to have access to this presentation, we can provide it to you if you reach out to us. So let me flip over to a live shot of getting this data from the system. Now, keep in mind this demo is not going to be very long because this is a data warehouse. It's pulling the data out. It's giving you what you need, and also having the responsibility put on us as Acumen and your SaaS provider to make sure the data is validated, make sure it's up to date, and make sure it's accurate. So it takes all that stress off of you as the end user. So what you're seeing here is a simple Excel query that I've done. I've actually pulled together ARSC, OEL, as well as OEH. So each of these are raw queries into the database. You'll see here we get our row pointers, our variation IDs, our transaction dates. But as I scroll over to the right, you see all the data that's within the data warehouse. You'll also notice those add-ons being exploded out into multiple fields rather than arrays. From here, you can simply go and say, hey, I want to refresh this data. This is an example of where I used Excel to cut the data down into only the fields that you're interested in. And there it did a real-time update of that. And here we can see those all orders. Now let me walk you through on how you can add, for example, the AP vendor table. We just come to from other sources, select ODBC. That will bring open my ODBC list of available databases that I can access, and I can hit OK. From here, I'm presented with all of the data that's available in my data warehouse. Now, one thing that you'll note for any of the Hyperion users that might be on the phone is that we have the raw tables here, but this is an example of how we can add views and cubes into the database. So we've added pub.dot, which that makes it compatible with the on-premise progress access, ODBC access that you would normally get with these tables. What's nice here is all the fields are the same. So those reports and things that you have in the past that were hitting the database directly will come right in. Now, if I come into pub.apsv, I could go into transform data, but this isn't an Excel class. So I'm just going to load this data and show you that it comes straight into the system. It's going to sit there, get the data for a while, and then display you all the information that you're looking for. So with that, like I said, it's going to be a fairly short presentation because it's a straightforward product that solves a need for getting access to your data in CloudSuite Distribution. So Gloria, if we have any questions.
Well, it's good to see you again, Jeff, by jumping on camera with you. Love this dimension that it adds to connecting our community together with our sponsors, partners, experts, and member-led content. It's great. Wanted to jump back in and just clarify. Scott said, yes, he is using on-prem, but he's also using it for CSD for upcoming transition. They're in the pipeline to be making that transition. Richard then also jumps in and he says they're using D/EPM. Not sure if I've hammered or massacred that. Yep. And he says they're creating new cubes is difficult within that format. And then we have a couple questions here. Richard says, how is what's being described here differ? How does what's being described here differ from DEPM?
From DEPM, so DEPM is a large product. That's what's different. So our product is providing you that raw database, that data warehouse that you need to access. We aren't a reporting tool, but our solution is primarily providing you that raw ODBC access to the database that you need.
Great. And Stefan then says, how does it handle deletes?
Yep. So deletes are delivered via the ION platform. And we flag that record for deletion. Actually, we get that flag from ION, and then we go ahead and delete that record. Now, if you're looking for the different variations or looking to go back in time, that's an appropriate use for the data lake, and you can reconcile the data together.
Wonderful. The other great thing I was going to tell you about this platform is that if anyone has any anonymous questions, you can feel free to either text them directly to me in the chat window by clicking down and saying panelists where we see it. I know sometimes it's uncomfortable and we don't want to be attached by being called out. But for those who don't mind, Richard also says we really struggle with adding new cubes in DEPM, say for AR and agings. Is it simpler to do it this way?
Yes, it probably would be. And I think that would be a good conversation offline so I could really dig into what's going on with DEPM and then make sure and see if we could provide an easier solution for you.
Okay. And then Heather asks, so is this Acumen used instead of the data lake?
Yes, it can be. They're used together. So it's really if you need that true compatible ODBC access to the database. Because we solved the problem a little bit different than the data lake did. And we could go into with that one additionally a little bit more detail if we wanted to get on the phone. I could explain some of the nuances between the data lake and the solution that we're providing.
Okay. The next question is anonymous. How is pricing structured?
Yep. So this is a SaaS product. So you're going to have a SaaS subscription to Acumen for access to your data, and it's priced based on the size of your database. So once we understand the size of your database, we can work with you to identify what price it will be. And that's a monthly SaaS subscription.
And what other applications besides reporting could this be used for?
Yeah, like other applications are integrations to e-commerce stores if you need to share your product data, things like that. Those legacy integrations that you might have with other applications like that manufacturing solution that I talked about at the beginning of the presentation. So kind of the possibilities are endless what you could do with this because you do now have a copy of that data in another location that's very easy to get to with a universal set of tools.
And unless something else populates either in chat privately to us as panelists or in the Q&A bubble, the last question that I have for you, Jeff, is pretty straightforward and simple. Why do we need this?
Yep. Why do we need this? Because, like I've said, you need direct access to your data. You want to be able to cube it up in a certain way. Maybe you want to view it a different way, like we did that pub dot. You can also, create views and things that look more like the old Insight database that came with Hyperion, things like that. So the possibilities are endless in what we can do to provide you access to your data when you need it and accurate data.
Wonderful. And Jeff, I see that you've pulled up your contact information as well as a landing page on the web. What is the best way for people to get in touch with you? I mean, I know that you'll respond to anything, but tell us about how to best reach out to you and also to gather more information on this solution.
Yep. So you can reach out to me directly on my email, or that's actually my cell phone there. So you can call me on my cell phone or even shoot me over a text if you'd like.
Well, that is wonderful. Let's see here. I think Adam writes, just to confirm what version /tech is supported or required on-prem, and are all tables supported? Great question.
Yep. So all tables that are in the data lake are supported. And what version on-prem? So anyone that has Ion should be supported, and I can confirm your exact version. And that would be a conversation we could have offline, but it supports all versions of CSD because there is no version, and we can go back to people that support Ion.
That's great. That's wonderful to hear. Well, I am going to take the screen back from you and just let you know about a number of different important things that we have going on right now. First of all, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us again today for the robust content. We're also thankful to everyone from the TUG community and our non-members who have joined us today as well to take a deeper dive into all the different solutions that we have that complement our Infor products. So the other thing I wanted to share with you is to mark your calendars, as next Tuesday, Easy Ask is going to be joining us, delivering their insights about the e-commerce roadmap and free upgrade. in their upgrade storefront with EAD Direct. Watch your inbox as well as the forums for the link to register. TUG members, just a quick reminder, if you still have any additional questions for Jeff, feel free to post them to the TUG members only forum on the all members page board for a quick response, or designated for your particular user group. We know that Jeff watches there as well, and just continue the ongoing dialogue. That's probably what I say over and over again, is a 24-karat gold nugget of great value for your membership and the peer-to-peer learning and insights that you receive on a day-to-day basis within minutes of posting. So for those of you who are not yet members, I say, why not? Please visit the www.usergroup.org and join us today. And Jeff, again, thank you very much. And as they say in Hollywood, folks, that's a wrap.